What is up, traders? Welcome to the official Trade Talk channel, where I teach you how to analyze price for the most consistent and higher probable entries so you can become a better trader. Excuse the raspier than normal voice. I do have a bit of a cold, but with that being said, let's dive into the charts. We're going to talk about what happened last week and what we could potentially be looking for this week, moving on into Bitcoin's wonderful world of price action. So first thing we're going to take a look at is going to be the 2-week chart. The reason for this is because of the main level of support that we will be focusing on is going to be the 2-week support level, $43,178.02. I want to see where this closes tonight before I make any decisions as to what my directional bias will be, but I am going to give you a bull case and a bear case, both side of the markets, and I will give you targets for both, so bear with me. So first and foremost, we're going to be watching for this thing to close, so I'll go ahead and take this line right here and drop it onto old 2-week support, as this will be the level where I'll be looking for potential bullish targets coming into next week if we do indeed get that close above. So let's go ahead and drop down into the weekly time frame. Last week you can see that we did have a close below support. This is 2-week support, but it's also weekly support, and you can clearly see a close below that. Typically when you get that, people will be looking for bearish continuation, looking for this week to be a pullback, and then look to get short, looking for that continuation to take place. If I take a fib retracement tool from just this candle's high to low range, you can see that the 50% retracement is setting at $44.32. You can see that that is where price is having a little bit of trouble getting above. Basically, this would look like continuation if you close the day's candle below that. All right, but let's go ahead on back over here to the daily. Candlesticks can help you get a bias. Absolutely, they can. They can also tell you a story if you know what to look for, and if you've been analyzing them for quite some time, you will start to understand certain things, certain aspects. Like for instance, we had a capitulation wick low. It's not a massive daily candle. It's a very small daily range in comparison to what we had back over here, but it still did its job, and its job was to penetrate below the lows to sweep the liquidity. After that occurs, you get a bullish push up into the 50% retracement of last week's range. Then you get another little push taking out the highs of this daily candle, and then a slam to the downside with a bearish engulfing, also known as an outside day reversal candle. And the reason you got this candle is because of that 50% retracement. Basically, people are going to be looking to get short at the top of what they think will be the daily highs, looking for short entries, targeting back down to old support, which the first support would be this candle's close, but then the next support would be this candle's close. You can see that this candle here tested that support perfectly and got a bullish bounce from the area. So basically that would be a bearish target if you were to take an entry looking for this bearish engulfing continuation pattern. If you were looking at this bearish engulfing pattern, if you were wanting continuation, that would pretty much be your target. So what seems to be happening here is that price is having a difficulty closing below this region. And in fact, this daily bearish candle has also offered up support for 3 days in a row. This was the opening, of course, of this day, but this day and this day have both tested this area and both treated it with respect of support. So what I'm looking for is basically, let's start all over with the lines. If you get a daily closure above this daily resistance level, then anybody that got short on this day is stuck, because price will be trading above their entry. That means they will be stuck. The short side people that are looking for bearish continuation are going to have to start exiting their positions if price continues higher. Once you get above this swing high right there, then you have a bear trap on your hands, and what we will be looking for is that bullish continuation to get up here to that 2-week support zone. So there is enough buying liquidity setting above this wick high as far as to get out of a short position, you will trigger buy orders. So with those buy orders, that could generate enough positive liquidity for Bitcoin to propel it back up into the $46,000 range, back up into that 2-week support zone, at which time, then price will probably chop around sideways for a few days to figure out if it wants to have more bullish continuation or not. But that's for the near term. Next week is what I'm looking for. First things first, we got to get a daily closure above daily res. Then I will be targeting the liquidity up here, and secondary targets would be 46,166 spot 50. I don't know if that's the exact 2-week time frame, but that is the support level. That's the support zone for the 2-week and the daily. So that's what we're going to look for on the bullish side of things. On the bearish side of things, you have your exponential moving average. Your daily 21 exponential moving average is still situated very far above price. You are getting a bounce off of the oversold regions, which is what you want to see. If you are looking for bearish continuation, gives you an opportunity to look to get short again, looking for that to continue lower. Basically, you can see here, if we get above this daily high, which is right below daily support at 43,920 spot 37, and we fail to close a daily above that price, then this bearish engulfing or outside day reversal candle is still valid. As long as you do not take out that high, this candle can still produce bearish positions. And like I said earlier, if that occurs, then our first target will be daily support here, and then ultimately our next target would be down here. So essentially this swing low would be our bearish targets, and you can have a secondary target down into support at 41,511 ish. So that's what we're looking for on Bitcoin. We have a potential here for Bitcoin to break out. I am leaning more on the side of potential bullishness, because if you take this trend line here off log, you can see that it did act as a perfect test of the trend line breakout. So this near-term downtrend has been broken out, but that's also a weekly support test. You tested this week's open. So I'm coming over here to the weekly chart, put it right there on the weekly open. We'll go back into the 4-hour time frame, and there's your weekly open. So I put more weight on horizontals always on this channel, because trend lines can be very subjective. I mean, just if I turn on log, this trend line changes completely. So I mean, you know, it's not an exact price, whereas the weekly open is an exact price, and that exact price was 41,876 spot 52, and you can see that that exact price did indeed propel price higher. So there was a weekly open test, and you are getting bullish continuation. So far, 4-hour support is holding. Yesterday, we took a bullish entry on Bitcoin for a couple percent of profit, and then today we traded the range to the downside, and we did make money on that trade, but we were on the wrong side of the trade, because after this wick pushed lower, this is when I scaled out of my position, taking profits. You can see that you got an instant bullish reversal setting in that 4-hour bullish outside reversal candle, or bullish engulfing. So, I mean, we're kind of looking for this stuff to get taken out, right? At least get up to daily resistance, which would be up in that area, and we're going to see what happens then. So we really are kind of in the middle of a zone right now where there's not a whole lot to do. We have to wait for a few things to take place before we can actually get situated in the market, but we are going to have a position to take either direction Bitcoin wants to go from here. So I hope you liked the vid. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well, and make sure you trade safe, make sure you trade smart, and as always, happy trading, everybody.